everyone, welcome to our podcast, So You Shoot Weddings. Obviously here with the best, Chris Prince.
Oh.
My name is Mackenzie Frank, and we're going to talk about our workshop today. Chris, let's jump on into it.
All right, yeah. So this episode, sorry if you're listening and you're like waiting for something else. This is all about our workshop. So we've had this plan for a while, and Mackenzie and I are kind of at a point in our, I guess we can call it career without sounding
Definitely
pretentious,
a career.
like a point in our career where we just really have like a lot to, I guess, give to people. I know it sounds weird, but like we've learned a lot over the years, and I've done mentorships myself. I've done workshops before, styled shoots, all that stuff. And you learn a pretty good amount with them. You learn so much more though when you can be in the same room as someone, when you can be right beside them, when you can talk to them face to face. You can learn so much. And if there's one thing you should invest in as a photographer or videographer, it's not that new camera that just came out last week. It's not, some fancy bag to carry all your stuff. It's your education, because that will last you forever, like literally until you're, done with your career. So, and that's the thing that like people might be like, I've spent probably a couple grand on just like the education part of it in the past couple years, and it's totally worth it. So we are only charging, and we'll get into more of this. Sorry, I feel like you're waiting to talk.
No, I'm not. You're good.
$300 for early bird pricing. That's until Halloween, and then after that it's $350, and we're only gonna have a select amount of people. So like, we're not gonna have 30-40 people, because we want it to be more intimate in terms of, it's way easier to talk to 8, 9, 10 people than it is talk to 40 people. So we're not going to have a whole lot of people. We're going to make it pretty exclusive. And like I said, it's going to be a workshop before a styled shoot. So like we are going to have some models, and we'll have, some details. It's going to be an awesome venue. That's great. But it's education first. It just happens to be a cool spot with all that stuff. So like we'll tell you, how we work with the couple, face to face. It's way better than just, doing like a YouTube video where we're like, this is what we do, or like telling you in an email, this is what I do. It's so much easier when you can do it in person. And I try to look at it from a standpoint, because I've been in your shoes where I'm like, I'd like to do that, but I don't know if I should pay the money for it. I've been there, and I can't say enough. I know I sound biased because I do this for a living, but I can't say enough how good of a deal it is and how smart it is to invest in yourself, because that's what you're doing. You're investing in the education for you to have moving forward. So you're investing in yourself. It is so worth it. And look at it from a standpoint of, let's say you charge $1,500 for for photography, 8 hours, 10 hours, whatever. This is $300. That's 1/5 of what you would get for a wedding. So let's just say that you book, hypothetically, let's say you book one more wedding than you normally would based on the education you're getting from us. Well, it's already paid for itself 5 times over. Do you get what I'm saying? So like you have to look at it just from a numbers standpoint. So like you're going to learn things that you otherwise probably wouldn't learn because we've been doing this for a while. And I do have actually a formal education in this. Oh yeah, so do you. You went to college for photography. So like, but we didn't go to college for like wedding photography and wedding videography.
Yeah.
That's completely different. So like, but we did learn some filmmaking techniques and photography techniques that like you might not know because you maybe don't have a 4-year degree in photo or video, whereas we do. But also we've been doing weddings for so long now that like we picked that side of it up too. So like it's not just from a creative standpoint of like knowing your photo, knowing your video. It's also knowing the wedding side of it too, and putting those together, because I think I said it in another podcast. Yeah. It was a funny thing. I said something like, what I say that like Spielberg would have a problem with wedding.
Yeah.
Like he'd have a hard time doing a wedding day because he never does it.
Totally
I'm sure, which is a funny thing to say. But like it's kind of the same idea of like trust us when it comes to like we have a lot of this info and we'd love to give it to you. And $300 is not
honestly
expensive.
Nothing for how much we've paid
Yeah.
and the time and experience that we've put into like everything that we do. And you see on Facebook, hey, looking for a photographer, like an experienced wedding photographer or someone with experience. There a lot of times you get like cheap or affordable or reasonably priced, but they also want someone who knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
And this way you can charge what you're worth, because I know a lot of you out there, like I used to do, completely undercharged just to get people. And I was like, why am I doing this when I can charge what I'm worth and give them the best client experience ever? Because again, yes, it's about the photos, it's about the video, but it's also about how you treat your couple and how you handle the day and make it as stress-free as possible.
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like we are definitely qualified enough now to give you what we know and give it a lot quicker than we got it, because we had to go through the years of different weddings and handling different situations and learning about weddings. Like, yeah, NKU was great, but they didn't teach us how to handle a wedding day at all. So a lot of that I learned from other mentors. I learned from trial and error and going and shooting weddings myself. So if we can give you that information quicker and without you having to go to school and without you having to mess up at weddings or whatever, just to give you the confidence and knowledge to go into it, be like, I know what I'm doing and I can handle it and I'm not scared.
Like, and it's not a race, it's a marathon. So with the stuff that you'll learn at this workshop, it's like you can apply it and it's going to last you over time. So like you might be like, oh, it's been a month since I did this, I'm not seeing a huge return. It's going to be a return that's long term, not short term. And again, we talked about the price of this for a while. I think we were going to do a lot more expensive. And then I remember just kind of being like, it's our first one. I don't want to, charge $600-$700, even though it's definitely worth it. It's probably worth 3-4 times what we're paying. Or sorry, what we're charging. But I don't want people to be like, oh, it's way too expensive. No way. I want people to say, you know what? It's not super expensive. I can do it, and see what you really get out of it, because I just think that you're going to get a lot out of it. And you're definitely going to see, because it's not super expensive, like, you don't have a whole lot to lose. You know what I mean? Like, even for like the stuff that we'll give away, like we're going to give away some tips and stuff. Like this is after the workshop. Like we'll email you some, tips and stuff, or like tricks and stuff that we do like with the couple. That in and of itself is worth a lot of money, but like you're going to see, I would basically guarantee like you're going to see a return, because this is stuff that I've done workshops like years ago, in mentorships years ago, one-on-one mentorships, and I still use that stuff every day. You can apply it to your business long term. So it's, without sounding biased, it's 100% worth it.
Yeah, well, I think we also wanted to keep it lower priced because we want to start working with people who are like really wanting to get into wedding photography. I do think it's still beneficial, like even if you're already in the game. Like I'm sure we know things that you don't know, and you know things that we don't know, and we can just bounce that off each other. But we always have people like, how did you get into this? How are you making it like a constant source of income and blah, blah, blah. So we didn't want to scare people away with the price. So we're trying to be really fair, giving you our time and knowledge, but we want you to get like a lot of good things out of it and not break the bank over this one.
Yeah. And again, I'm sure I sound super biased when I'm like, I don't want to sound like a used car salesman. Hey, come do this. It's going to be awesome. But like, seriously, it's going to be so, and again, we're doing it 2 days. It's not 2 days in terms of like you have to show up for both. You can just pick one day. It's going to be the same workshop 2 weeks in a row. So either January 10th or January 17th, whichever works best for you. We did a poll on our Instagram because I was like, I think we should do the 17th. And I think you mentioned the 10th.
It was like 50-50
and it was,
with
we
people.
did it multiple. I did it on my Instagram. She did it on hers. And it was almost straight down the middle. So I was like, let's just do both days. Why not? So we're doing both. So you should definitely make it to at least one of them, I imagine. But what we're going to do is, I think we mentioned, going to have some couples, like flat lays details. There'll be like a Q&A and stuff at the end where we're like, you have literally any question regarding the industry, we'll answer it. And then we're going to have, obviously, like we mentioned, it's going to be at a great venue. And then I think I had a lot of stuff written down. We're going to talk about... what's it called? We're like a critique. We'll like critique some work
upon request. So only if you want it, because I know as artists we are sensitive, and some of us maybe just don't want to leave like feeling whatever. So yeah, if you want us to like glance at your website or glance at your shots from the day or whatever, we will absolutely do that, because we kind of know what people are looking for, and not only technically speaking, but also like from a opinion standpoint, which is important. But
so I personally charge a couple $100 for a mentorship anyway. Like if we did a one-on-one, I believe it's $250. I'm pretty sure it's $250 on my website. And so think about it that way. If you did that with me and then did that with Mackenzie separately, you'd be spending a lot more than $300. So this way you get
it's
both. It's
cheaper this way.
Yeah, and it's not for like an hour. This is almost 3 hours. So it should be 2.5 hours, like 10 to 12:30, right?
Yeah.
And
with models that you can work with, and again, like, we'll shoot the model, not shoot. We'll record and whatever the models and interact with them. And if you have questions while it's happening, it's that casual where you can just jump in and be like, hey, why did you do this? Or like just any comments.
Yeah, it's not gonna be one of those where we sit there and we're like, okay, shoot the models.
Yeah,
and
have
then fun.
Because I've done one of those where literally it was like, all right, go ahead, do your thing. And I was like, okay, well, I kind of wanted to learn something.
Yeah, no, we're not
gonna
do
I don't need
that.
the content. I just did it because
it's gonna
it was
be like ridiculously personable in terms of, if you had any question that you're just like, how do I get it to look like this? Like, why is it this way? We'll help you.
It's stuff that I wish I had when I was learning, because again, NKU was fine, but I wish I had someone where I could just practice, and if I was doing something wrong or had a question about it, I could be like, hey, boom, answer, back to it.
Go ahead.
No, I'm done here.
So there's gonna be, I did a couple of mentorships, like I said, years ago, and I would say a lot of those were like, a lot of things that I learned were like aha moments where I'm like, like, oh my God, all I had to do was switch this and this, and my footage looks so much better. All I had to do was there's definitely some things where, trust me, it was right under your nose, but you didn't see it. Mm-hmm. And just little tiny things where you're like, oh, I would never have known that. I'm so glad I did this. Like, I can't say enough how good of a deal it is, not only from a price standpoint, from an education standpoint, and a long-term investment, because this education is, because that's investing in yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
why not make it easier and better for yourself and your couples? Like, it's just, to me, it's a no-brainer. And again, I wish I had something like this offered to me when I first started out, because I was pretty darn clueless, especially not learning a ton about anything about weddings from NKU. This would have been super great. And then a lot of people struggle. How do I book weddings if I've never shot a wedding? Well, you're going to get some wedding experience. It's mild, but you will get a couple in wedding attire.
Yeah.
Which honestly, once people start to see that, they're like, okay, well, I mean, your talent might have been there, but I've never seen you shoot anything wedding related, so I didn't know what to think. But yeah, why not get that hands-on experience? We're visual people, obviously. I learn best visually, so just to have like real people there, real couples, and then just go off of that.
And a lot of this will be business related too. So like, we could talk about camera gear all day. We could talk about, maybe you should shoot on these specs or shoot the light this way. All that's great. We can talk about that, but we also want to talk about your business and just businesses in general, how to get the most out of, couples, the wedding day, how to get people to pay more for, your business. So we can split it down the middle. It could be creative and then also like the business side of everything. Because I think we said in another podcast, we mentioned you could be the best photographer on earth, but if you don't know how to run your business, you're screwed. Mm-hmm. And that's just the fact.
Marketing, personality.
Yeah. Or you could be the opposite. You could be so good at running your business, but not that great of a photographer. And honestly, I'd rather be that. I'd rather be like an expert businessman who's like an okay videographer. I could probably make a lot more money versus being an incredible videographer, but I have no idea how to run my business. So we'll help you with both. And because like I said, without sounding, I don't want to sound like arrogant, but like I've learned from like face to face with some of the best videographers on earth, not just the country, but like literally on earth. And they've told me things where I'm just like, oh, I had it never occurred to me before to do it that way. You learn something new every day. And that's stuff that like I wouldn't get from a YouTube video. I mean, you can find so much on YouTube, but like you learn so much more. It hits you differently when you like someone says it to your face or someone says it, like in person. And we just really want to talk to you guys in person. And also it's nice to meet with us. Nice for us to meet with you. Sorry. It'd be so nice to meet me.
Yeah, you should totally meet us.
I just meant like, it'd be nice to meet people face to face too. And this is going to be one of those things where, let's say the 2.5 hours is up, but you had some more questions or whatever. Like if you're at that workshop, you're kind of like, I don't want to say grandfathered in, but you know what I mean?
It
like,
doesn't end at the workshop.
Yeah, we're going to know, oh, I'm going to answer a lot of your questions in an email or text message or whatever because you were at the workshop like a couple months ago. Like we're taking care of people that way. We're not going to say, oh, nope, time's up.
Yeah,
if you want more, you got to pay us more. We're not in it for that. We're in it because we know what's going to last, what's going to be better for us, Mackenzie and I, with this workshop stuff is it's not if we take a bunch of people's money and never talk to them again. That's not good for us. What's good for us is you pay for the workshop. We tell you everything that you wanted to know about your business or creatively, and you tell everyone that you know, oh my God, guys, I learned so much at this workshop. That's what we want. And for us to do that, we actually have to give you good information and education, and that's what we plan to do. So like
no BS.
We're not bullshitting you guys. Like we're gonna take care of a lot of stuff like that. So
a lot of the people I've mentored, like they can attest to this. After the mentor session, they text me all the time and ask questions, and I answer pretty quickly, as quick as I can, with like honest, true, good advice, because again, I want you to succeed. I am not doing my job if I don't give you the best of the best information or even keep up with you. So it is important to me to see you guys grow. And I've had a lot of people, like, I know it's not all me, but I know that I am a part of their businesses growing. And to hear, like, even we had someone recently, like, up their prices and someone booked it. Like, that's from listening to our podcast. Like, again, it's just cool to see that we are helping people.
Yeah. I had a couple, it was a husband and wife team, got a hold of me, when was it? Probably January. And she did photography, and she's like, I want my husband to do the videography. It would be a husband and wife team. And I was like, okay. So they booked my mentorship. I showed up, told them, basically I don't think they knew really anything about video. Okay. Basically started from scratch. Man. This is January, I think. And might have been February. And told them everything I knew. And of course, it was only a couple hours. And then they got a hold of me a decent amount of times after that. Told them got them a whole bunch of info. Told them, this is what I would do if I were you. This is going to save you a lot of time. I would buy this camera versus this camera, all that. And they just they just posted, was it today or yesterday, that they're like full-time now photo and video team.
Shoot, just from like February.
Literally,
wow.
I think it was yesterday. And I messaged her and I was just like, awesome. And she's like, yeah, we're kind of nervous. We're jumping into it. But like, they wouldn't be able to do that without the like the guy that I'm telling you, like the husband like didn't know anything about video, and they do that. And actually I saw some of their work and it looks really good. And it definitely felt good to be like, oh, yeah, I like to think that I had something to do with that, which is cool.
Sometimes it takes people years to be like, all right, I'm gonna go full time.
Yeah.
So yeah, any way to expedite that process, like why slow it down? If you want to make it happen, which a lot of people do want to do this for a career, not just like a side business or whatever. They want to quit their normal jobs and do something that they love. Like, get it going, you know?
You know what? Let's just say that you pay the money and you show up and you're just like, I don't know if this is going to be worth it. Like, make it worth it. Be like, you know what? For it to be worth it to me, I want these questions answered. I want to know how this is. I want to know how I can book these kind of clients. Mm-hmm. Like, we'll cover all that.
Yeah, come with questions. Yeah. Come with, like, goals. Again, I think a big part of it, at least for someone like me, is going outside of my comfort zone to do something like this. Mm-hmm. And it might be hard for you to, like, go to a new venue, meet new people, do something that's kind of scary. But again, you're already taking a step in the right direction and growing, because it is freaky.
If you're listening to this, like this. Yeah, if you're listening to this right now, your one foot is in the door.
This is your sign.
Put your other one in. And I don't want to make it like cut and dry where like, I don't want to have a flyer that says, oh, creative workshop, it's going to be talk about this, and this. That's it. I don't like that, because I don't know. You might have 30 questions about something else that we're not covering.
That we're not, yeah.
And we won't answer. So I don't want that to be the case. I want you to be like, you can show up with a list of questions. I don't care. Like, I want you to get everything that you personally want, because you might have 30 questions that are completely different than the other person who has 30 questions. Like, we're going to try to answer as many of those as we can. And we'll have like a Q&A for that. But we'll also like, we'll be with you the whole time. Like there will be a couple times when we mentioned like where you're shooting the couple or a flat lay or whatever, and we'll be there. We'll be right there with you guys. So we can answer questions like on the fly.
So yeah, basically what Chris is trying to say is like we want to be a part of this because like I want this to be valuable for you. We're not going to be on you the whole time, but we're going to be standing like giving you your space, letting you do your thing. We want to see how you interact with the couple because that's very important. Again, like giving them positive affirmations of like, oh, you're doing good, like little things that you might not think about because you're so concerned with your exposure or technically your settings. You have to learn to multitask and make it a fun, good, easy experience for them, and then also get the killer shot at the same time.
Camera settings are the easy part. Like, you know what I'm saying? That'll come second nature to you.
Muscle memory after like, you do it. Yeah.
You'll know. That's so my camera set. Like I feel like, boom, 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 done. The harder part, like there's so many other things to do for a wedding. So like camera settings probably aren't like your problem, but like we'll get into all that. And yeah, like I don't know. I just have so much that I want to like talk about. I just want to be asked a bunch of questions.
I love
just
questions.
Want to answer them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love when people get a hold of me randomly and they're like, this frame rate, what does it mean? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, awesome. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, trust me, it's like this. I could talk all day about this stuff. And I usually do. My wife doesn't like to listen to it, but like, yeah. So like we could talk all day about it and
we're just going to let the day flow in whatever direction that we take it. Again, we don't have like a super set schedule, but we have things that we want to cover. And then whatever questions come, let them go.
And I just want to rephrase, like, this workshop is more valuable for us if it's more valuable for you. Like, we get more out of it if you get more out of it. So, like, that's what we are gaining. Like, we want to give you so much info so you can just be like, oh, my God, yes, this was totally worth it. So
it's fulfilling for us to teach and know that you're walking away a better photographer or videographer than you came in.
Yeah. Even though it's only a couple hours, like, you'd be surprised what you can learn. I've done hour mentorships before where I'm like, wow, I should have charged more for this. I gave a bunch of info out in an hour. So
well, again, that's why we do it though, because I love the mentorship sessions. I mean, one session, again, it was an hour. They could not get consistently sharp photos, and the only thing that they weren't doing right is they weren't doing a quick focus before they shot.
Yeah.
So like when you go from this way to this way, I like usually touch it a couple times just to make sure it's on where I want it to go. And then she was like, that was so worth it. Even just from that one,
the way they shot forever.
Just the one, thing. And they're like, it's sharp. And I'm like, yeah, like that's all you needed is someone to just like, boop, just lift you over the little hill. And now you're that much better.
And there's a bunch of things that I do even now that I didn't do a year ago. Like, so I'm always learning, and like, it's one of those things where like, I feel like my grandma used to say, she's just like, you're never too old to learn, or you're never too old to learn something.
Okay,
like, or something like that. Is that how it goes? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's how it goes.
Paraphrasing, right?
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Isn't it kind of like you're never too old to learn something?
Y'all know what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's how it is. Like, you learn stuff like every day. Like, this is a world, the photo, video, creative world of like new technology every day. Weddings are constantly changing, just like the from start to like everything's different. It's not the same every time. So we always have to adapt. We have to learn new techniques. Sometimes forget old techniques. And yeah, there's just so much, and we want to talk to you all about it. And it's gonna, after the workshop, I'm gonna be like, I wish we could do more, like longer.
I know.
Trust me.
We'd be like there for like 7 hours.
Yeah, we have so much we want to talk about. Like when we were literally making like the flyer, I think I wanted to keep it simple because I want to overwhelm people with a bunch of info. Because if we put everything we want to talk about on there, we wouldn't be able. We'd have to post a bunch of flyers.
But that's why we're going to do more.
Yeah.
So this is just like our regular basic starter one, and then we'll go like crazy. But
yeah. And again, it's open-ended. So like, come with some questions, come ready to learn. Whether you have a bunch of questions about the business side, or like, hey, how do I save money to do this? Questions about how to work with the couple, questions about, how do I like get better at like dealing with the DJs at weddings? How do I get better at dealing with planners, coordinate, like
any personal,
all that stuff. We have a bunch of info about pretty much every aspect you can think of.
Especially with both of us, like I'm sure combined, we've experienced not a lot. If you want to talk in the parking lot afterwards for a couple minutes, if you want to go to 50 West, grab a burger, like it does not end. I don't ever want you guys to feel like as
Yeah.
soon as that time is up, like we won't be there for you, because we will. But yeah, it can always go further.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. We might do that because
That would be fun.
by the time it's over, it's lunchtime.
I'll probably be
so,
hungry anyway.
Yeah.
So.
We can figure something out. But and at the end of the day, we should all stick together, like in terms of creatives, because we're all on the same team. So, but yeah, definitely. Hopefully, we see you in January, whether it's the 10th or the 17th. Get a hold of Mackenzie to book, and you get like a receipt and all that stuff. It'd be cool.
I'll send you a confirmation receipt and then more information to be delivered closer to the day. But again, it's pretty straightforward. So
yeah, and then obviously, if you don't already follow us on Instagram, join the So You Shoot Weddings Facebook group. It's kind of like a mini version of like the workshop, I guess. Like we're always like posting stuff in there and answering questions and stuff in there. So like
vent sessions.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta.
Yeah. And then we'll go over all that. But hopefully we see you guys in January.